Hello, I'm your instructor, Jessica Ginnanen. I'm going to show you how to sign up for Tutor, which is a requirement for the course. So in Moodle, click on OpenStax Tutor on the left-hand side. It's going to show you an external tool. This is how you're going to access Tutor every time you need to do so. So go ahead and click on OpenStax Tutor and then click Continue. That will open a new tab. Now, since you're a new student, you're going to click Sign Up as a student. If you have used OpenStax before, you can log in. Either way, go ahead and do so. Once you start signing up, you're going to need your student ID number, which is located on your student ID card, or if you have your class schedule handy, it's on there. And then you're also going to need your student email to use to log into Tutor. So student ID, student email. So once you have signed up for Tutor, it will tell you that you will need to pay for it, and you will, but you have a 2-week grace period, and you will have access to Tutor for a full semester. Now, you can go ahead and pay it. You're going to have to pay it eventually, so if you can, I would pay it as soon as possible. That way you don't have a service interruption. But either way, once you log in, you will see a dashboard that looks like this. And up here at the top, you will see your current assignments that are due this week. So since I'm in here early, I don't have any assignments due this week, but if you're accessing this video during the first week of class, you will see chapter 1 and 2 reading and chapter 1 and 2 quiz up here in the up here at the top. So one thing to look out for are these exclamation points. Those will show you some additional info that I type in. So I usually tell you what to pay attention to and then what to skim or completely skip over. So I tell you to read everything, but you're going to skim a few sections and then completely skip a section in chapter 2. So have that in mind. Click on chapter 1 reading. When you click on chapter 1 and 2 reading, you will see the first page like you would in a textbook for the chapter. You can click continue here, or you can click the arrows to move on to the next section. So once you start your reading, you will see one section at a time. So you will see 1.1, and this is the entire section. So as you read, make sure you pay attention to the objectives here at the top. That's going to tell you what you should be getting out of your reading. So after you read this 1.1 section, you will be able to understand what's up here. So those are the goals. Pay attention to the pictures, the captions, and then of course pay attention to the bolded terms. So when you're reading, you can take notes on a piece of paper, you can take notes on a Word document or Google Docs document, or if you are tech savvy like me, you can use the textbook as your notes. So what you can do is highlight a section of text with your mouse, and then you can click the highlight button and it will remain highlighted for you. Now, if you want to add something to this highlighted section, you can click the notes here and type in whatever you want and click save, and then you will always see it. So when you want to come back to study before the quiz at the end of the week, or going more into the future for the midterm exam, you will always see your notes here. And of course your highlighted items. So you can add as many as you want. You can highlight. You can, if you don't want to highlight, you just want to add notes, you can do that as well. And it'll show up there. Okay. So once you have read 1.1. Don't take a ton of time, but also don't breeze through it. Make sure you read and understand. You're going to go on to the question part of the reading. So this one says, define theory in your own words. So you're going to say, a theory is a well-tested hypothesis. Okay, so I like that. I'll hit answer. And now what I typed is going to show up right here. So it's kind of prepping you to answer the question. Now, based upon what I typed, I helped myself answer the question. So you're going to choose whichever answer you think is correct. I'm going to say A, answer. I'm not sure if it's going to tell you if that is correct or incorrect. I think it does tell you that it's correct. So we got it correct, and that's A. And then we're going to go on to the next question. So define what an applied science is. You're going to type it in your own terms, hit answer, so on and so forth. Eventually, you're going to answer enough questions for section 1.1, and then you will get to section 1.2. And then you will read section 1.2, answer some questions, all the way through the end of chapter 2. Okay, so you can click this overview button here to see some questions, see the questions that you've answered. It shows that we got it correct there. If you want to quickly go back to a section, you can view my highlights, view your highlights, whichever you highlighted there. You can print them from the screen as well, keep on hand. And then if you want to exit before you have finished, you can do so. It'll save your progress. So it'll tell you that it is in progress, and you can pick up where you left off when you exited. You can also browse the textbook. So one thing that I would say to do is while you're answering questions, you can't, it's hard to go back and forth to the text and then to the question. So I would say to pull open the textbook in a separate tab. And look, we see all of our highlights here. So you can go and find what an applied science is. You can use Control F, at least on a PC, to find certain words, right? So here it is, applied science, that was easy. And then you can answer your question there. So more about the textbook, the ebook, you can click on key terms. It'll have all the bolded terms with a definition. You can click on chapter summaries. So these are nice to study after you read the reading. So don't rely on the chapter summary as you're reading, but they're nice to use to study. And then throughout the chapter, there are visual connection questions, which are like a deeper level of thinking. And then you can quickly view them here without having to sift through the textbook. And then there are review questions. So this is probably the more popular part of the end of chapter content. And you can see all of the generated multiple choice questions that are based on the chapter's content. Now, there aren't any correct answers in the textbook, but if you want to type them and then have me check them, I can do that for you. And then there are also critical thinking questions. So same thing, if you want to practice answering one or two or all of them, I can check to see how you did. Okay, so going back to Tutor, we're going to go to Dashboard. So Dashboard is where you see what you see when you log in again. You can go to Scores in this drop-down menu. You'll see your course average, and then your score based on each thing that you've done. So you're going to see two things. One is progress, one is score. So progress tells you how far you've gotten through the assignment, and then of course your score. So we've only answered one question, so our score is only a 5, but that'll update as we move through the assignment. And then the course average score is factored into Moodle and factored into your overall grade. So one more thing, as you move through the chapter assignments and the quiz assignments on Tutor, you will see self-paced questions here. So since we haven't finished one assignment yet, we don't see one, but you will eventually see some topics here that you need to work on. So practice my weakest topics, and then you can also view all topics. So those are good ways to study as well. Okay, so I think that sums up how to sign in or sign up for Tutor, and then just a quick overview of how to use Tutor. If you have questions, please don't wait till the last minute when assignments are due. Whether they're technical questions or conceptual questions, ask me. If they are really technical questions, you might want to click on help up here. There are some getting started and troubleshooting articles there for you to look at. But if it's something that you're just having issues with, content or technical, you can't find an answer, contact me.